In 1960, this morning's guest found two loves. Want to know what they are? You'll find out. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're in the lobby of the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We're focused on the Miss South Carolina pageant and its amazing activities held all last week here in Spartanburg, particularly here in the auditorium. And we're visiting with the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Miss South Carolina organization, Joe Sanders. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. How are you?
Thanks so much for coming in early on a Monday morning.
Thank you.
Very exciting to think about all of what happened last week. And later this week, we got some great guests coming in, highlighting the amazing activities here in the auditorium. A lot going on this summer.
Sure. A lot of activities here in Spartanburg, and, of course, the culmination of the pageant here that we've been working on all year long has really been gratifying to us. And it's really been a fun week and a fun time.
And the crowning this past Saturday night was amazing. We won't even talk about it. It was so special.
Yeah.
You think for you, Joe, of course, your activities in the Miss America organization, and particularly the Miss South Carolina organization, you've been doing this for years.
Seems like forever.
You can't.
But then I've enjoyed every year of it, and I started in 1960.
1960?
1960.
Wow. And, almost 50 years.
Yep. And I was coming to first day at work when I started working for the bank, and I noticed coming to work there was a billboard that says the Miss South Carolina pageant's coming to Greenville, South Carolina.
Right. You were in Greenville then.
Right.
Yeah.
And I noticed, that must be something fun to do. And so my first day, the president of the bank called me in and said, we always like to have our officers involved in some kind of activity in town. What are you involved in? And I went, oh, man. I'm involved with the JCs and working with the Miss South Carolina pageant.
No.
I couldn't wait till lunch so I could get down to the JC office and join up. So I started that very year, 1960.
Divine intervention.
Yep.
That's amazing. Yep. Seeing that billboard there, opening that door. So it wasn't, oftentimes you think for a guy, it's a wife encouraged me, or a daughter, or a sister, or a mother.
Right.
But for you, it was literally seeing a billboard.
Absolutely. That's where it started.
That's amazing. Did you ultimately pull your wife in on that?
Yeah, 4 years later. She was totally anti. She didn't want to get involved in this and that and the other. And finally, after twisting a few arms and needing some assistance, I finally got her down to the pageant one night to help a contestant get ready. Yeah. I didn't have anybody there to help her, and she was bit from then on.
Golly, Joe, that is amazing.
Yep.
Of course, at that time, the JCs had it. Did they hold it in different parts of the state, the Miss South Carolina pageant and all the activities leading up to it?
Well, it was originally it came to Greenville from Myrtle Beach.
Is that right?
That's right. It was there for a long time, and it came to Myrtle Beach, from Myrtle Beach to Greenville. And we started our first pageant up in Greenville in 1958.
Wow.
And so we've been there a while and stayed there until they finally demolished the old Greenville Memorial Auditorium, and then we had to find a new home, and we came over to Spartanburg.
That is true. Well, Spartanburg is so well suited. And speaking of Spartanburg, later this week on Thursday, we'll have the city manager here, Mark Scott, which will be special. And then on Friday, your mayor, or the mayor, Bill Barnett, will be with us on Friday. Even later, earlier in the week, we've got Judge Allison Lee, a circuit court judge from the Midlands, from Kershaw and Richland County, who was one of the judges here last week.
Right.
And then tomorrow, Jack Cooper, who was the head judge of the 5 judges, a very exciting guy. He was amazing last week.
Great panel. Great panel of judges.
Next week, we're actually going to be back up here, and Adrian Johnson, one of the judges, and Kathy Randall. Austria Randall from Somerville will be with us. So we're excited to come back. And then next Friday, Joe, I don't know if you knew, we're going to be interviewing Kirsten Haglund, Miss America here, who's kind enough to come into town on the 18th for that.
Right.
A lot going on.
Yep, a lot of activities that take place here in this town over the years, and we really enjoy this city.
What some of the benefits that you all make on Spartanburg, Joe? I guess having the Miss South Carolina pageant here probably brings a lot of both people coming up in here, probably a lot of revenue to the city.
Well, the economic impact is over $3 million
No.
for the time we're here, and then of course over the period of the events that we conduct here, we have over 5,000 room nights.
Wow.
So Spartanburg can handle it, and certainly this auditorium is very well suited for us.
Right. It is tremendous. What actually first got you involved in, when you think about for you, Joe, getting involved in banking? What was it about banking? Was that something you picked up while you were in college? Did you have a family member in banking?
Well,
open the door to banking?
My grandfather owned a bank in Charlotte, North Carolina, so that was where I got introduced into banking as a young boy. I really wanted to be a football coach, but then they told me I had to teach school, and I said, wait a minute, I don't want to do that. So I had an offer from the bank and went to work with then the old People's National Bank
in Greenville.
Okay. And stayed there for my entire banking career.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was fascinated when I read a little bit about you and saw you'd been at Bank of America for 45 years and you retired. So ultimately that was People's, and then it became
NCNB, and then Nations Bank, and then Bank of America.
Incredible. Of course, a lot going on. We saw Hugh McCall down in Myrtle Beach recently, an event down at Brook Green Gardens, and of course, who was so instrumental in helping to grow that bank, along with its incredible employee base throughout not only the Carolinas, but literally the country and the world.
He built the bank. He built Bank of America. I mean, he was an amazing guy that could buy the right kind of properties, and he put together an amazing franchise in the banking industry.
Is the Miss South Carolina organization principally Joe Sanders, or do you have any family members involved?
Oh, of course. I have, of course, my wife, Gail, and then my son, Joey. He's the producer of this show, and we've all been involved as a family for a long time. Right. And, of course, I have an amazing group of volunteers.
Dedicated volunteers.
Very much.
Yeah.
Over 300 volunteers. And
300?
300 volunteers.
Throughout the state or principally up here? That's
throughout the state. They run locals, and then, of course, they come up here, and we have a team of people here as well. So I'm very proud of who they are and what they do. I've always operated on the premise that you're only as good as the people you have yourself surrounded by, and I'm surrounded by some very good people.
Well, we had hoped to get Gail in on the show this week or next week, but of course the thrill of getting you in.
Thank you.
Of course Gail is so involved in the pageant, and we'll have Joey next Monday to kick off the week back here in the auditorium. But of course Gail and you, how long have you all known each other?
Well, since we were children.
Really?
I moved next door to Gail's grandmother, where she was, and her mother and father were living with the grandmother. She was 6 and I was 8. So we've known each other for a long, long time.
So we won't even ask you how long that is, right? Age 6 and 8.
8.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think I saw you all have a big wedding celebration coming up 2 years from next month.
Yeah, we'll be married 49 years this coming August.
Is that right?
So, I'll keep her a while longer, hopefully.
I heard it's the other way around. That's right. She's thinking about it.
Yeah,
she's thinking about it. Gail is staying very active in pageant. I saw she was recently in Illinois judging a pageant, aside from helping to help keep everything going down here.
She judged Miss Illinois pageant last week, and she had a great time up there. And I have retired from judging state pageants.
Oh, come on!
Oh yeah, I've judged just about all of them, and our pageant has grown to such the extent that I can't take the time to be away for extended periods of time. I have to be there to keep the fire burning, so to speak.
This is a year-round activity for y'all. I mean, it truly is a year-round activity, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll close down and we go home, and then somebody says, next year I think we'll do this, and we start planning for next year. Right after this show is over.
It shows. It's seamless. What we were doing last week, and of course the judging procedure in and of itself is a very detailed and regulated,
Oh, yeah.
and obviously very carefully planned out procedure. It's amazing to see the efforts, and of course, the judge's hostess
Right.
that you had for us, Linda Clayton,
Oh,
and
Linda,
the
yes.
judge's host,
Yeah.
Ron Allison,
Yeah.
whose wife Rita will be with us
Yes,
next week.
she
We're
will.
excited about being with her, but Ron and Linda and Jerry, the time. I mean, it's
Yeah.
amazing to see the involvement of these volunteers that give up a lot of their own time.
Oh, they give up their time, and of course the judges come in here and they give up 10 days
Right.
to come in here and judge not only the Miss South Carolina competition, but the teen competition as well.
Right. Right.
So it's a double duty, and we're very fortunate to have the dedication of people that are willing to come and take on the responsibility.
Oh, yeah. 41 teens,
51
51 Miss contestants, 92 young ladies. Girls, you often hear that phrase girls, but they've got more maturity level than I do. I mean, it's incredible to see the level of maturity in these girls ages 13 to 24.
Well, our program has so many other variables in it. Like we have the Palmetto Apprentice program,
Right.
and we have 167 of those
No,
And,
from around the state.
from around the state
Right.
that are being mentored by the teen contestants and the Miss contestants.
Right, right.
And then we have 47, I think, or 48 Prince. that have-
Palmetto Prince.
This is the first year
Right.
we've done this, so it's really a great program, and we're so proud to start the Prince program because we kept reading so much about the domestic violence in South Carolina that we thought it'd be good to have a program that taught young men how to treat women.
Yes.
We think that's important.
that is.
And so this program kicked off this past week, and we've had great participation, and we've had great speakers to come in and talk about character building and self-esteem and how to treat women and opening the doors and
Oh, yeah.
helping with the chair and things of that nature. But it works out real well for us. And other things that we do during the course of the year, we have a program we have in February called Battle for the Crown. It's a dance competition from around the dance teams coming here from around the state.
Here to Spartanburg.
Here to Spartanburg.
Wow.
And we hold that. And then in March, when we kick off our pageant a year, we had this year the 5K run. It's called Run for the Crown.
Right.
And all the contestants brought running teams here.
No,
And
here to Spartanburg?
That's right.
Wow.
And we raised money for Children's Miracle Network.
That's tremendous, which is the national service
platform.
organization for
Right.
the Miss America badge.
Right. So I think I heard a report last night that so far, we've raised $55,000 for Children's Miracle Network.
Is that right?
Yes, and that stays here in South Carolina. That doesn't go anywhere else for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals in South Carolina.
I think I saw that y'all are working hard. Is that throughout the year to raise a
Oh,
million
yeah.
pennies? And
Oh,
that-
well, we did what they call a penny pusher campaign.
Right.
Where everybody decorated piggy banks and went out and collected their pennies, and we raised $10,000 in doing that.
That is tremendous.
Yeah.
That is tremendous.
Had a lot of people involved in that,
Oh, yeah.
and it's just a lot of good things that sort of tells you that we're more than just a competition. We're an
Right.
organization that does other things as well.
Right, right. But competition's very much a part of it, and it's more than just a beauty pageant. Share with
Absolutely.
viewers, for our both male and female viewers who may not have a lot of past experience with the Miss South Carolina or the Miss America organization, exactly what it's all about, Joe.
Yeah, they come in here and we have dancers, and we have a choreographer that teaches the show and how to dance and what to do and the theme of the show, and of course this year's pageant theme was State Fair. A lot of energy, a lot of movement, a lot of things going on, and our dance teams are here. And they did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
And all that has to come together in a matter of days once you get into Spartanburg. So everybody sort of stepped up to the plate.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to talk to Joey about that next Monday,
Right.
since he was instrumental in producing the whole thing. And you
Oh,
had,
yeah.
of course, the Miss South Carolina involved in that, and Miss South Carolina Teen from this past year who were involved, obviously kicking off with the now newly crowned Miss South Carolina teen and Miss South Carolina.
And Miss America was here for 2 days.
Kirsten Haglund.
And
it was amazing. Yes. She's actually going to come back and be with us next Friday.
Sure.
Right. Just having her in town to interface with the girls is very special.
So I think, it's a family entertainment show that gives an opportunity to bring families together, come in here and see a good, wholesome, clean show that people can enjoy.
What are some of the ways that our viewers could get involved with the Miss South Carolina pageant? Is it volunteering on the local level, or are you ever seeking volunteers up here?
Well, yes, the local level is where to start. I mean, there's a lot of towns that conduct local pageants that volunteers are needed drastically.
Right.
And from fundraising to helping with production to recruit contestants, all of those things are important.
Right.
And so they need volunteers to do that. So each town that conducts a local, both teen and miss, whoever wins that comes to the state organization for that competition. And, it's really eureka for a small town when somebody's contestant wins either one of these titles.
Right.
I remember when we had a Miss America by the name of Mary McKnight from the lower part of the state. And when she won Miss America, the newspaper reports that I read that the people down there in that little small town in Manning danced in the streets all night long.
Oh, I bet.
So there's a lot of notoriety that comes with this program.
Yes.
The Miss America organization started in 1921.
1921. Where was that?
It was in Atlantic City.
Right.
And it started all because a group of those businessmen there wanted to expand the Labor Day month of September.
Right.
And so they started a bathing beauty contest. Mm-hmm. And that's where the Miss America pageant started.
That's amazing. So it originally kicked off beauty related. It has clearly evolved into much more than just beauty.
Oh yeah, and then they added talent, and they had the whole gamut of interviews and swimsuit as well, and evening wear. So the pageant has evolved into a real showcase of young women from around this country. And South Carolina has been fortunate to have some very qualified and quality young ladies throughout the year participate in this program.
For our viewers that may be in a community that doesn't have a Miss pageant, a local pageant, could you just go over briefly the steps that are involved? Let's say our viewers in Georgetown or in Marion or in Lake City, for instance. I don't know if they have one, or let's say in Dillon County. For our viewers who may not have pageants in their community, what are the ways, how easy is it to get one started, or how difficult is it?
Well, it's not difficult. It's all you need to do is decide you want one, and call us or write us, and we will send a team of people there. Our field directors will go in there and meet with a committee.
Good.
And sort of give them the parameters in which you have to operate, and talk about what needs to be done as far as fundraising and various levels of competition. And so it's not a difficult process.
Okay.
We try to make sure that these committees are stable and that they come in there with a lot of enthusiasm to conduct that pageant, because after all, that young lady that wins it's going to be representing that town or community.
That's exactly right. That's a very good point. If a viewer wants to give a call, if they're thinking about that, is there a good phone number to call the Miss South Carolina organization?
The pageant office at 864-843-9090.
843-9090. MissSouthCarolina.com.
Yep.
There's a great website, a ton of amazing information on there, a lot of the history, a lot of great links to the Miss America organization.
Right.
And the involvements therein. Well, when you think about that, of course, we've heard some folks talk about closed pageants and open pageants. The idea of if you wanted someone to represent, let's say, Miss Georgetown, if it was an open pageant, you could have folks from all over the state competing for that.
That's exactly
They could they keep it closed
or not? They can keep it closed if they want to do that. Draw from a certain county or a certain area
Right.
where that pageant is being held, they can do that. Yes.
Good. So it wouldn't hinder them from being capable of being up here to
no.
compete in the
No.
in the Miss South Carolina.
No. And you probably saw when you came into the hall, they got banners hanging around with all the contestants and congratulations, that sort of thing. And
Oh, yeah.
very supportive teams come in
Right.
here to support their contestant. The towns they build up great support teams to come
Right.
here.
Right.
And it's nice to see that kind of support coming out of especially a small town.
Oh, yeah.
Where a young lady has come up here to compete.
Right. I was amazed last week, Joe, to see the level of interest, not only of family members, but as you say, teams that'll come up here.
Oh, yeah.
They're spending $150 a night to be in a hotel, to pack up there, just to travel up here, whether it's high gas prices or not, coming in from all over the state to be here, to stay in hotels, lots of family, lots of friends. It is really a wraparound of support for these young ladies.
Well, I think one of the things that we're most proud of is the fact that we are the largest scholarship provider of any state pageant in the country.
No.
Yep. We give, each year, we offer $140,000 in cash scholarships where that contestant can take that scholarship she's won and use it in any school where she's attending.
Right.
And then we have about $9 million in in-kind scholarships.
$9 million.
$9 million in in-kind scholarships where the different colleges and universities in the state of South Carolina are offering scholarships to our winners to come and go to school there.
$9 million annually?
No.
No.
Yeah, totally.
Annually, over the course in kind.
Yeah, in kind. So they offer as high as 4-year scholarships for
Right.
X number of dollars. They may offer just 2 years of scholarship. But the thing is, it's helping a young lady further her education that otherwise doesn't play sports or doesn't
Right.
have an opportunity to go to college on an athletic scholarship. So we've seen some young women come into this program that have gone on to be doctors and lawyers and
Right.
professionals in all phases of business life. And for me, that's probably the most gratifying of it all, to see the success of a young woman who's come through our program,
Right.
who's been empowered by our program, and who has taken the things that she's learned here, the values and the self-worth that she's learned here, and move it on into later in her lifetime.
Joe, I heard that $9 million figure last week while I was up here judging. I thought someone had added an extra zero
No.
on there. I thought maybe it was $900,000. They got it confused. $9 million of in-kind and more than $140,000 of cash scholarships. That is tremendous.
Well, we're very proud of that, and I think it's a credit to the colleges and universities in this state
Right.
of what they do in making those scholarships available. In today's times, with the rising cost of education, this is an excellent way to earn some scholarship money.
Joe, what's been the most meaningful aspect for you over the course of your now almost 50 years of personal involvement, since 1972, your 36 years of involvement as the president and chief executive officer of the Miss South Carolina organization? What's been the most meaningful aspect for you as you look back over the last literally almost 50 years of seeing these young women?
The most meaningful thing for me is I've been in this program, and each year that we've been involved, we've grown. When we first started, we were offering $1,500 in total scholarships to our contestants. But now we're able to offer a lot more. And the program has expanded from just, a competition of one pageant, but a competition of 2 pageants.
Right.
And we've put so many other programs in place that have not only given young Palmetto princesses and Palmetto Prince opportunities to grow and understand our program, that come back later and compete. Many of these princesses have gone on to compete in the teen, and some of them have gone on to come and compete on the state level in the Miss pageant, having gone through our princess program.
Wow.
So we're very appreciative of that and the values that we instill in them. we think is far above anything else that we could ever offer a young person whose vision or her self-esteem may not be the best, that she comes in here and you give them a little bit of hope and they understand, I am somebody. And our theme is, we always say, I'm Miss South Carolina, I'm someone to look up to.
That's tremendous.
And that's been very, 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 very helpful for us.
And rightfully so. Joe, I'm sorry we've run out of time.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to a little more with Joe Sanders, the President and CEO of the Miss South Carolina organization, coming up next. Within a 100-day span, in the same year, within a 100-day span, May of 1960 and August of 1960, he finds a true passion, something he's passionate about, he commits his life to, and a woman he's passionate about, he commits his life to. It's tough to imagine him living without either one, the Miss South Carolina organization or the special Miss Gail Sanders, for the amazing impact they've both had on his life and the impact that Joe and his son and his entire family continues to give to the Miss South Carolina organization, all of its volunteers, its contestants, and their amazing, amazing supporters. Year after year, Joe Sanders, making a difference every day.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that was a special.